Hello, everybody. Welcome to WWP Live on IG, where we have discussions with writers with purpose. My name is Melvise, and at Written Words Publishing, we envision a world where every storyteller, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to share their voice, shape narratives, and impact the world through the written word. And today, our guest will be author Tiffani Harvey. She's the author of Freedom Seeker and the complementary workbook, Freedom Seeking. So, Freedom Seeker, there's suggestions and questions throughout the book. The suggestions and questions throughout the book are guidelines to help the reader know what questions to ask before making decisions. And Freedom Seeking is a workbook which can be used with Freedom Seeker. It's also a standalone book in the format of questions and answers that will basically help you make, decisions that you need to make in life. So we are going to invite Tiffani into the program right now. How you doing today, Tiffani?
I'm doing good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, tell us something about yourself and the purpose behind freedom seeking.
My name is Tiffani Harvey, and obviously, you figured out that I have some struggles, and, and that's why I had extra hands helping me, which would be my husband, Eli. And I wrote Freedom Seeking as a companion book to Freedom Seeker. It's a workbook to help the reader know what they want, their values to be, and what they want in life all the way around.
So, what would you say? What type of reader would benefit from using the workbook Freedom Seeking?
Teens and tweens, victims of violence who are in home violence, who are wanting to reset their values and get out of that possibly. Maybe there's people who want to stay in that, and for them it would be to be able to explain to people why they want to stay in that kind of environment. And for it, my books were originally written for those adults with intellectual and disabilities and mental health disabilities, because I was always dealing with adults that would say, how did you get your parents to let you fill in the blank? Date, live by myself, because I have multiple disabilities myself, physical disabilities and other disabilities. And that would be why it it was important for me.
Okay, so would you say that freedom seeking and freedom seeker?
Freedom Seeker is autobiographical. Freedom Seeking helps the reader make their decisions, because everybody has different wants, needs, likes, desires. Like, I'm a religious person. I'm also I also very politically inclined, or at least I have been. If I get pushed the wrong way, if I get told, like if somebody says can't to me, I'm going to prove that I can. Or I'm going to seek out to see if I really can't or if I can.
Okay, so basically, I'm looking at the table of contents for the different areas that are addressed in freedom seeking. So it's basically a workbook with questions that would help the reader um, make decisions regarding protecting themselves, document their personal information, keep track of their medications, their personal preferences, their communication and conversation opinions, their personal safety.
I want to expand on that.
Which one?
The communication one.
Okay, communication, conversation, opinions. Go ahead.
When my husband was at college with me, I visited the student government office a lot, and the president was in a class with my husband. And when my husband found out, he said, "Then you must know my wife." He said, "So many people come in and out of there, I don't know." And he goes, "My wife has a birthmark and walks with a limp. I know her. She keeps us on our toes." And just went on and on about me. Well, that's appropriate. That's not considered gossiping. The way I the way I wrote some of this in my autobiography would it's would would you want to know that you had said something about somebody behind their back? So when my husband came and told me that that's what the president had said, would he be embarrassed about that? He
Mhm.
should not be. The other example I give is if the the person that has massive tattoos and rings all over their body, and their tongue and their nose, that kind of thing, do they really want to be identified that way? And if that's not a way they would want to be identified, or if you would be embarrassed that that's the way that you identified them, then that's something that you should not be saying about them.
So the questions for the readers to answer in freedom seeking would when they answer those questions, it would help them make decisions upon what they would want other people to know about them or to do, their boundaries. um there's a section about stranger questions in general, gossiping, conversation do nots, home and neighborhood safety, protecting yourself from stalking and violence when dating, married, or living together. Questions to help the reader make decisions about internet safety, learning how to manage their money, financial safety, addictions, alcohol, smoking, local transportation, disability vans, the city bus, driving. I mean, it basically touches on employment, narrowing down career choices, college, even going so far as how to choose a cell phone company and traveling out of town, close relationships, raising children. And then there's also information about resources for the disability community, the challenges of living on your own, guardianship. Is guardianship good or bad? So it basically touches on all areas of life that anybody would have to make decisions on, and gives the questions so you can write down the answers and know and make your choices. Would you say that that's what the readers would get from Freedom Seeking?
Yes, I basically say freedom seeking, and any of my books, is it's anything you wish you knew before you turned 18 or left home. And on the other end, you may know the answers to the questions, but if there's ever a chance that you could end up incapacitated, not able to make your own decisions, filling the workbook out is a really good idea. So if you have somebody who's making decisions on your behalf, they know what your decisions would be and why those would be your decisions. Especially now, in this political season, if you if you're not Republican, you probably want to let people know why. Or if you have a Democratic family, you may want to let them know, this is why I'm Republican. This is why I believe the way I believe. And this is the way I would vote. I'm staunch Republican. This is why. Or I'm staunch Democrat, and this is why. Or I vote for women. Or I vote for men. Or I check, or I'm a very thorough reader of a ballot and I figure out, those kinds of things. If you have to take over somebody's decisions, and this has the personal information of who your doctors are, then this has all of that in one spot. And that's the beauty of this book. And some of the things I didn't put here, but would be good maybe to put in the front or the back. What are your favorite colors? Or what colors can you not stand? And the reason for that is, like me, I hate orange. Unless I'm going to be out on the road, and wearing maybe neon orange or yellow, so I'm not hit, I don't want to see it.
Mm.
So if my room has it, I'm not staying there. Or I'm going to be blind. So that's an example
Okay.
of the importance of knowing why you believe the way you believe and why others should know that.
Yeah. So every little details help. So I would suggest, if there's anyone out there, if you're a caregiver for a friend or a loved one, freedom seeking might be a good gift to give to them, so that they could clearly write down and document everything that is possible that the ones that care for them may need to know. Because if there's a particular color that you don't like and you don't want to look at it every day, you wouldn't want somebody who's responsible for changing your sheets or picking out your clothes to give you the wrong thing. every every little bit helps. Okay, so tell us, Tiffany, if anybody wanted to get in contact with you, perhaps to speak with you. I know you're a member of Toastmasters for a speaking event or anything. Where can they contact you?
My website is responsiblyindependent.com. My website, or I mean, my, and there's a contact page on there. You can also put reviews on there, and I really appreciate when you put reviews on my website, because because one of the struggles that I personally have is with the computer. I I would have stayed computer illiterate if that had been possible. And so I really appreciate when people put it on my website.
Okay,
Also,
and speaking
I
of reviews, there are a few reviews that are actually included in the workbook. Someone wrote, Tiffany has covered many topics and she has very helpful information. She also has a workbook. She is very positive and confident. You almost forget that she has restrictions. Read her book and you'll be blessed and you can help others. Another reviewer wrote, the author takes the reader on an in-depth journey of her life and the not so easy choices. She mentions resources that better the lives of the disabled. Those are actually reviews that are in, yeah, those are in freedom seeking. So they apply to both books. So Freedom Seeker and Freedom Seeking are available wherever books are sold. And if you go to writtenwordspublishing.com, you can purchase, you can buy one book and get the other book for half off. So you can go to writtenwordspublishing.com /Tiffani, Tiffani Harvey, Harvey. You can read excerpts from those two books. And she also has a journey to independence and growing independent. So those two books are basically
for people who struggle with written English. They have excessive definitions to explain what some of the simplest words mean. They were originally written for people with intellectual disabilities. So, like, but they might not be explained the exact way from that the dictionary would say, because if somebody wants to have a child, I explain abortion as taking a child out of the stomach before it's ready to come out.
okay.
Not the exact definition of an abortion, but for the person who wants to have a baby, they need to know that if they have an abortion, they're not going to be a mom. So that's the importance of the way I did A Journey to Independence and Growing Independent, and also the autobiographies, A Journey to Independence and Freedom Seeker, would be even better for caregivers and friends and family, because it would teach you the questions that should that you could be asking the individual that you're concerned about, so that especially if somebody's newly disabled and you're like, oh my gosh, what I do, kind of thing. And then it helps to be able to get a grasp on disabilities in a way, when if somebody doesn't have, if they're all of a sudden, if they're like an aerospace engineer and now they can't do anything meaningful with numbers, or they can't repeat the same numbers that they hear, and they think that you're that you're not speaking clearly, and you are, and it's because of a stroke or something like that. These are the types of things that you will find out from the questions that you ask.
Yes, because in all the books you point out uh specifics for the individual, and then there's also things that address the caregivers, the caretakers, and the people that are making the decisions. So it hits on both ends. All right. All right. Well, thank you for joining us here on WWP Live today. It was great. It was great having you. And we would encourage anyone who may benefit or know someone who would benefit from these books that will help them, make decisions for themselves or for their loved ones. They're available wherever books are sold. The Journey to Independence is available as an audio book wherever audio books are sold. And like Tiffani said, The Journey to Independence and Growing Independent break everything down and give you more definition. So anybody who is, has any type of learning disability, who needs something just laid out for them, just as plain and simple as possible, those are the two books that you would want. And then for everyone else, Freedom Seeker and Freedom Seeking are the two books that you would want. And they both would, all four books, achieve the ultimate same purpose, helping others gain independence on their journey of seeking freedom. Yeah.
They are also an ebook, and A Journey to Independence is also in audio format.
Yes, paperback, audio, and ebooks. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Tiffani, for joining us today. And we'll catch you all later. Y'all have a blessed day. All right. All right. Bye bye. Tell Eli thank you for his assistance today.
Oh, will do.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.